Hi there. I wanted to find out if hiding a gradient within a gradient using font was a good idea or not for CSS Battle. So let's put it out there. Let me know. So what happened here is in the recent CSS Battle, I ran into the situation where what I wanted to do to solve it, it wasn't the best solution, but it was mine, was to write a linear gradient for this smaller rectangle and then a linear gradient for this one. But they're two different colors and then they're two different distances. And so usually it takes like 3 variables to change those, or writing a whole nother gradient, which seems excessive until I came across this or came up with this solution. And so what I have here is I use this first gradient. I'm using M units, and I'm actually using this gradient to style this white rectangle, and this one. So I have it 25M, which is huge, right? So it's just white for the whole thing. That's all you see. And then the first p tag, I set it to 10% so that the gradient shows up as this, right? This white and then the green, because it's 2.5M and then 7.5M at that point, right? And then the last one, because the last two color stops is at 20 pixels, which is much less than 7.5M, it doesn't show up at all because it's behind it, the way these color hints and color stops work. And so what I did is in the last one I set font to 0, which sets these two ranges to 0. And then this now is ahead of those. And so you see the 20 pixels of green and then the brown. They show up now because the first two color stops disappear essentially. So is that a good idea? Hiding a gradient within a gradient? Because I feel like even with radial gradients, maybe not so much conic gradients, but radial gradients, this could be useful as well. To do, you have a second element with a different radial gradient and you can hide it inside as long as it's smaller. There might be other ways to do it. I don't know. Let me know, please. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. All right, thanks. Bye.